feet are, oh, it's back on. They're sorry. Ben Kaysen. Did Ben Kaysen. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Ben Kaysen. Oh, hi everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? All right. Okay. Sorry, Ben Kaysen. Um, Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is William Finkley. Huh? Oh, my fault. Never mind. All right. Huh? It's not, we're live. He just said wait. Oh, we're good? Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is William Finkley. I'm a senior at BHS. I'm a part of the football team. I'm part of the Black Student Union. And most importantly, I'm a part of the MECO program. Welcome, everyone, to MLK Day Assembly. Allow me to set some guidelines. Please be respectful of the speakers today. It takes a lot of courage to speak in front of the whole school. We want this day to be about inspiring each other. We have a lot of students from different backgrounds and identities. So we hope that in the spirit of Dr. King to foster peace and solidarity as a community. After all, he put his best into what he said. We must learn to live together as brothers and sisters or perish together as fools. Let's welcome our first speaker, Darren Grant.
Okay. All right. I'm Darren Grant. I'm the president of the BSU, and I have a little speech about MLK. All right. Today we gather upon this day to reflect upon and celebrate the life, the legacy of the most influential figures in the fight of civil rights, Dr. Martin Luther King. His tireless dedication to justice and equality, and his dream to have a truly inclusive society left an indelible mark on the history of the United States and the world. Dr. King's vision is rooted in the belief that all individuals, regardless of the color of their skin, should be treated with dignity and respect. His commitment to nonviolent resistance and civil disobedience became a powerful force for change in challenging the status quo, inspiring millions to join the fight of the struggle for equality. As we remember Dr. King, we reflect upon his profound impact on our society through his eloquent speeches, such as the iconic I Have a Dream speech, delivered on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. He paved a vivid picture of our nation where people were judged by the color of their skin, he wants to create a society where people are not judged by the color of their skin, but judged by the content of their character. Dr. King's leadership extended beyond his words. He led by example, faced immense adversity, enduring violence, imprisonment, yet steadfast in his commitment to justice. His resilience and unwavering dedication to principles of equality continue to inspire generations. But our commemoration of Dr. King is not just a reflection on history. It's a call to action. The struggles for civil rights and social justice persist, and we must draw inspiration from Dr. King's legacy to continue the pursuit of more just and equitable and an equitable society. Let us commit ourselves to the principles of equality and justice and love that Dr. King compassioned. In our daily lives, let us challenge prejudice and discrimination, and let us thrive to create communities where everyone, regardless of their background, will thrive and fulfill their potential. And let's enact that in BHS today. Thank you.
That was an amazing speech by Darren Grant. Next, we have up Dean Allen.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Darren, and thank you to everyone out there who has patience with us today as we got this thing up and running a little bit late. Today, I will be reading you a poem by Richard Blanco, a Cuban-American poet. He read his poem, One Today, for Barack Obama's second presidential inauguration. He is the first immigrant, the first Latino, and the first openly gay person to be the U.S. inaugural poet. Blanco dedicates this poem to the DACA dreamers and all our nation's immigrants. He explains he wrote this poem to stand in solidarity with the plight of all DACA children as brethren who belong to two countries yet none, who were caught in the crossfire of politics and the crosshairs of bigotry without any legal right to have a say in the determination of their destinies. This poem is called Como Tú, which means like you, and he says it's also like me. Como tú, I question history's blur in my eyes. Each time I face a mirror, like a mirror, I gaze into my palm, a wrinkled map I still can't read. My lifeline, an unnamed road I can't find. Can't trace back to the fork in my parents' trek that cradled me here. Como tú, I woke up to this dream of a country I didn't choose, that didn't choose me, trapped in the nightmare of its hateful glares. Como tú, I'm also from the lakes and farms, waterfalls and prairies of another country I can't fully claim either. Como tú, I am either a mirage, living among these faces and streets that raised me here, or I'm nothing, a memory forgotten by all I was taken from and can't return to again. Like memory, at times, I wish I could erase the music of my name in Spanish. At times, I cherish it and despise my other syllables clashing in English. Como tú, I want to speak of myself in two languages at once. Despite my tongues, no word defines me. Like words, I read my footprints like my past, erased by waves of circumstance, my future uncertain as wind. Like the wind, como tú, I carry songs, howls, whispers, thunders growl. Like thunder, I'm a foreign-born cloud that's drifted here. I'm lightning and the balm of rain. Como tú, our blood rains for the dirty thirst of this land. Like thirst, like hunger, we ache with the need to save ourselves and our country from itself. Thank you.
Next, we have a BSU Vice President, Nathan P. Carvalho.
All right. Hello. Excuse my voice. I have a bit of a cold. Start off with a quote from Dr. King. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Letter from Birmingham, Alabama jail, April 16th, 1963. Dr. King was more than an activist for civil rights. He was a father, a priest, and a leader. The lasting impact of a man over 50 years ago is still alive to this day. One singular man held the power of a whole community in his hands. And step by step and brick by brick, he built a fight that is still being fought today. He's not a man that only had a dream. He's the man who had purpose. He is the man who went to jail multiple times for the right cause. He is the man who we celebrate today at this ceremony. But while some of you were ignoring what I was saying, let's get to the real talk. Why do we just push these events to the side? Like doors. Why does no one listen? Why are people looking down, ignoring us? Just damn, another white kid saying the N-word. He was gaming though, so it's not that serious. And, well, they're gonna transfer. That solves the issue, right? No. What does it solve? If we aren't educating these people, nothing's gonna change. From the first time we walked out In 2022, my freshman year, has anything changed? Think that to yourself. Has anything changed? And the answer is yes, but not in a good way. We just been desensitized to blatant racism. And just because someone transfers schools doesn't mean they learn. That means that they're scared. They're scared to come into this building and look at people like me because they know that we ain't gonna look at them in a good way. And don't come to me and some of my peers for Black Jesus purposes. If you gotta ask someone or think to yourself if it's racist, it's probably racist, smartass. But remember, I have to stay calm because if I'm not calm, I'm ghetto. Does that make any sense? MLK praised peace during a time where I could never, and I mean ever, understand being peaceful. A time where Black people were hanging on trees because they were accused of whistling at a white woman, hosed down for peacefully protesting in the roads. A time when Black people were forced into neighborhoods and schools with low funding just because their skin had more melanin than their white peers. But now it's outrageous. More than 50 years later, we still have issues about race. Funny enough, it goes full circle though. They hate us, but at the same time, they want to be us. In third grade, I was told why I spend so money on shoes, and then 8 years later, everyone wants Jordans and Dunks. Makes no sense. To sum it all up, MLK was cool. Help Black people get rights, but it's about the lasting effects. We still have disparities in healthcare. We still have police brutality. We still have racism in this world. And the sad truth is that racism will probably never die. This is a hundreds-of-year-old ideology that government's built off of. It was taught in schools, churches, town meetings. You get the gist. Now, how do we fix it? We actually put an effort to it. We stop these half-ass attempts of solving racism and make white people talk about it. Because if you make Black people talk about it, it's not like, no way, the Black person hates racism? Duh. There's no harm in expressing what you were taught. As long as you acknowledge that you were wrong and you move on and learn from it and better yourself, who cares after a while? But this is not common because look at some of the people at our school and how they handle it. No shade though. Have a great MLK Day.
Next, we have Chanyasulkit.
Hello, my name is Kasai Nuwasu. I'll be reading a poem by Danielle Milton. She was a student at Baylor University who won the 2014 Colorism Poetry Contest. The poem is called For My Little Black Girl. This is a letter to my future daughter, but more so words I wish I heard as a child. A letter to my future daughter. Don't lose yourself, little Black girl. As you walk through the halls of your elementary school, as you swing on the swings of the playground, even as you skin your knee during recess, mastering double dutch and hopscotch, be bold. Don't lose yourself, little Black girl. White walls, white faces, white noise. It's easy to get lost in it all. But you are beautiful. Your Black is beautiful. The wind sings through your natural nappy hair, making music only God himself can delight in. Your smile speaks life to the lifeless and love to the unloved. Your full, plump lips are reminiscent of your eldest ancestors. They are more than your family tree, they are your dynasty. And though they toiled in ships and chains, we are reminded of a vivacious heritage of life, culture, and vibrancy. You are royalty, my dove. You blossom in the dead of winter, as if seasons are just formalities. You flicker and shine as if your soul's purpose for existence. You are sunshine, as if light is intertwined in your very DNA. As you walk through the halls of your high school, as you look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I beautiful? Even as you take your standardized test for college admissions, be phenomenal, because you are anything but standard. Your soft mocha skin dares to be kissed by the sun as a sparrow serenade in your praises, because you are beautiful and you are life and you are Black. And as far as I'm concerned, those are synonymous. So don't lose yourself, little Black girl. As you walk through your college campus, as you watch music videos, television, and listen to the radio, as you join organizations and meet boys and go to parties, be fearless. Your glorious essence cannot be captured by Instagram likes or retweets. In fact, you find no value in Instagram asking yourself why filter what is already flawless. Not because the queen of pop said so, but because the kings of kings and the lords of lords decreed so. You are an old soul. Your cheekbones sit high like the ancient Egyptian goddesses. Your laughter harmonizes with the pulses of the universe. And in that moment, you are more than any adjective can ever describe. You are not bad. You are not fine. You are not hot. You are radiant. You are bright brilliance. You are divinity. Because your Blackness was knit together by God Himself, your kinky roots were wound together by the creator of the universe. And your full dark chocolate eyes and lips were sculpted and crafted by the master craftsman. God cannot dream a sweeter dream than you, so don't let them tell you otherwise. But will try to make you ashamed, Black girl. They will try to make your Blackness a burden. Your heartbeat is the melody of the mockingbird. Your roots to the motherland make you the daughter of kings, my princess. Your mind is sharp like thorns of a rose bush at dusk. You are a rose, my love. Wilt for no one, little Black girl. Love ferociously, live furiously, and laugh infectiously. Because you are Black, and you are mine, and you are life. So just promise me you won't lose yourself, little Black girl. Thank you.
Next, we have Dean Williams.
Good morning, Brookline High School. When I think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I can't help but think of my grandmother. Dr. King was just 3 months older than her. Betsy. I call her Betsy. That's not her name, but it's what I call her. My Bets. She's 95 years old, the same generation as King. She has seen this country change in ways that were nearly unimaginable for her when she was your age. She has seen this country change in ways that were nearly unimaginable for her age, for when she was your age, and when she was my age. But she's seen some incredible change. I tell you about my bets because when I'm feeling the lowest about the state of this country, the state of this world, I'm reminded that my Betsy has witnessed change. She actively remembers a time when it would have been impossible for someone who looked like me to have the opportunity to do all that I've done, all that I fight to do, and all that I will do. She teaches me how to stay the course, knowing that for every 2 steps forward, we might take a few back, but we must keep stepping. We can keep stepping forward together, knowing that the change we seek can happen because it's happening even when we feel like we are stuck. And I'm sad to say, but we're really stuck right now. We are stuck in a moment confronted by ugly words, ugly actions everywhere, all the time, on our social media feeds, on the news, in our hallways, and in our homes. It's a lot. And sometimes it's really easy to give in to that feeling of being stuck. And maybe sometimes you become numb to those ugly words. and those ugly actions, or you make yourself numb. And then suddenly, but not really, you find yourself not feeling like yourself at all. I know that feeling in every way. It ain't cute, and my Betsy would let you know. She asks, "You done?" And you know I have to say yes. And then she says, "What are you gonna do?" And that's the question. What am I going to do? She's reminding me that I can be stuck for a minute, but then I need to make a move. I have to keep stepping. She connects me to MLK's legacy. She heard that message directly and kept it alive in our family. So, if you find yourself stuck and numb, I hope this helps you to think about the next step that you want to take towards the change that you want to see. Let's take steps towards each other with love, trust, so that we can respect each other more, be nicer to each other, get better care of each other. Something that Dean Kendall Jones and I talk about all the time is who feels like they belong here and who doesn't, and why. And we know so many of you, adults included, feel like you don't belong, and that is a huge problem. This place is for you. This place is for you to learn, to grow, to make mistakes and bounce back, to learn how to have hard conversations, to learn how to work together, to support each other because we care for and respect each other as people, period. That's the place I want this to be for all of us, students and staff. And the only way for us to get there is to ask ourselves if we're ready to move, if we're ready to get to work. We know it's not going to be easy, but some of you may have heard anything easy ain't worth doing. My bet says that too. And yeah, it's not going to be easy getting there, but I guarantee you it's going to be worth it because it will be yours and it will be mine and it will be ours together. We will have figured out how to make this place be as dope as I know it can be because we care and we care about each other, and that's the place we want to be in. So let's get to it. Students, staff, we have work to do. It's time. I hope what you hear today inspires all of us forward, as my bets would say, because we have to keep stepping. Thank you.
Last but not least, Mr. Myers.
Looks like I'm going to need to hold the mic steady. I want to take a moment and thank our presenters so far. So can we thank Will, Darren, Dean Allen, Nathan, Kasaya, and Dean Williams? Give them a big round of applause. Humbling and challenging to speak after each and all of you. So good morning, Brookline High School students and colleagues. It is, as every year, a privilege to participate in our annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Assembly. In doing so, I offer thanks to Mr. Jones for planning this program, to the Black Student Union, and to the students and staff who have contributed to this shared experience for our school community. It is powerful to convene as one Brookline High School community, to remember Dr. King and remind ourselves of who we want and need to be individually and collectively. This morning, I'm hoping Dr. King can help us think about this particular community, Brookline High School, at this particular time, January 2024. I do so amidst a war in Gaza and the killing of innocent people in Israel, Gaza, Palestine, and beyond. I do so nearly 2 years into the war between Russia and Ukraine. I do so while migration and immigration crises impact thousands at our borders and across the globe. I do so as we prepare for a presidential election at a time when our nation is polarized and our politics are too often poisonous. I do so, and as our society continues to be riddled with all the things that are meant to tear us apart. This includes the racism about which Nathan spoke so passionately, and all other forms of hatred and discrimination. These are not easy times to weather, no matter one's age. There are many events and incidents that are well out of our control. This lack of control can be painful, even paralyzing. And importantly, there are things we can control, or at least impact. All of us, 2,500 students and staff come together every school day, 180 days a year to be in community. We are Brookline High School. I believe with my whole heart that Dr. King would want us to think about our interconnectedness, about the power of love, and about the need for forgiveness. So I'm gonna reference Nathan again. We chose a similar quote. In his letter from a Birmingham jail written by hand in August 1963, while in jail for his participation in nonviolent demonstrations, Dr. King wrote, "I am cognizant of the interrelatedness of all communities and states." Little ellipses here. "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly." In this passage, Dr. King points to our moral responsibilities to one another and to every human being. As noted, there is much in the world, near to us and far away, that deserves our attention and requires our empathy. And we must recognize that any injustice within this community is a threat to justice for all of us. This means standing up, disrupting, calling people out and in when they say something mean, racist, anti-Semitic, Islamophobic, sexist. The list could go on and on. Whether we always like it or not, we are one community tied in a single garment of destiny. As we head towards graduating the class of 2024, including some of the brave speakers this morning, we must do so with a firm understanding of our interconnectedness. As Dean Redding often chants, we are BHS. Dr. King would also suggest we need to find the ability to forgive and tap into the power of love. I want to take a moment and acknowledge these are hard concepts to consider for the young and for us older folks. I don't always lead this school or my life with love, and I know I am better at my job and my life when I do. In his 1957 speech, Love Your Enemies, Dr. King said, "We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He," and he uses some gender-specific language, "he who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies." I want to just repeat. He or they who are devoid of the power to forgive are devoid of the power to love. Dr. King suggests that forgiveness requires work. He also suggests, less explicitly, we are all in process all the time. How can we develop and maintain the capacity to forgive? With practice, by asking for help, by acknowledging forgiveness can be hard. Over the last few months, I have heard from many students, colleagues, and families, including today, including yesterday, including Tuesday. I've heard from students, colleagues, and families who are hurt, saddened, angry, even outraged by others in our community. This is not what I want for anyone and not what we need for everyone in our school. I hope with my whole imperfect heart that we can find the power of love, that we, members of the Brookline High School community, can practice forgiveness, and that we can reach out across differences and establish and reestablish our connections to one another. I have some concrete suggestions for supporting this critical work, and this speech is already too long. I offer deep thanks for your attention, your reflections on all that you have heard within today's MLK program, and the actions each and all of us will undertake in the days and weeks to come. Thank you, beloved Brookline High School community. Take care.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to these amazing and inspiring stories by all these brave individuals. Let's give another round of applause. Keep these parting words from MLK in mind as you go throughout the day. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in the moment of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in the times of challenge and controversy. Thank you for your participation and have a great day. And X-Walk is also going to end at the regular time today.